So last weekend the pre-parties for 2019 kicked off. 27 delegations, as far as I'm aware, met up in Amsterdam where Eurovision In Concert took place. So this is my review on it. So in this review, it's kind of like a mini review. I'm just going to be looking at the people who performed, so the entries for this year's contest, not so much as the guest artists and such. So I have my standouts, I have my few concerns, and then just everybody in the middle. I think probably the most surprising entry for me from this weekend was Poland. I genuinely was worried. I wouldn't say what I was worried. I was more a tad concerned that Tulia could not pull off those harmonies live. And then when I saw the uploaded recording of the performance, they were incredible. They can harmonise so well, and they deliver that performance so brilliantly. And I think they might very well be a surprise. They could very well qualify and do reasonably well. So yeah, that was my thoughts based on that performance. So yeah, another one I was really happy with was Australia. Now we all know that her vocals are absolutely flawless, and during Australia Decides, when I did my review on it, I was not a big fan of the overall package. And but to be fair, in Amsterdam she was a lot better. I think that vocally she wasn't amazing during her national final. Like she's great, but there were some parts that were kind of missing, and this time around, bang bang bang, she nailed it. Take away all that staging as well, all the craziness that's going on, and the vocals, well, the performance goes back solely on Kate, and I think that's what should happen. It just feels a bit more polished to me than, say, having everything going on, so I prefer it that way. And I enjoyed the entry much more than I have done since it's been released. So yeah, good from me. Great job, Australia. And then just looking at a few of the other standouts, Israel, homeboy Kobe. Every time he performs, he can nail it live. I haven't seen one bad performance from him yet, and that's a great thing. I honestly think that Home is still incredibly underrated. Say what you want about the song, but that you can't deny that he can't perform it live, because he can. He literally delivers that, and I think he might do better than people are saying he will. But yeah, great performance. Serbia as well. Nevena literally owned the stage, and it's quite sad really, because I thought she did incredibly well, but all I could hear, and I've watched a couple of different uploads now, all I could hear was the public, well, the audience nattering, and I'm just kind of like, audience, shut up, I'm trying to listen to her. Like, have a little bit of respect at least, or try and tone it down. But yeah, Nevena on the stage, great performer. We all know she can sing. So yeah, she performs on that with passion. I know she wrote the song and composed the song, so it's a lot more meaningful to her. So yeah, I was really pleased with that as well. Also my own home country, the UK. I think we had one of the better performances of the night. Not trying to put any bias in there, but Michael is an incredible singer. If this was a singing competition, I think he would do incredibly well. But it's a song contest, So you get the idea. But yeah, Michael performed incredibly well. I like the idea that he's improved. Vocally, you know, we all knew he was great. But the sort of stage gestures and that, like, his arm movements were sort of out of control during You Decide, and that's all tidied up a little bit now, so that's definitely a good sign. And I'm just hoping that by the time that the rehearsals roll around, that we've got a very good staging, and we just give it the best shot we can. Yes, I know our song isn't great, and as a Brit, trust me, I can admit that. But is it the worst song then? No. Is it the best song? No. But regardless, great performance. Norway as well. Good performance from Kaino. I think vocally now they've got this on lockdown. I just, if they can improve any more than where they are, that's great. But I think they're at that stage now where, can they do any more? You know, can they go even further than what they already are? Charm's a very good singer, Fred is great, Alexandra has such a distinct voice and she's absolutely incredible as well. They've definitely got charisma, they can perform well on the stage, and having that backdrop there of the Northern Lights, that set the tone really well. So I can see a concept there, you know, it gives me an idea on how they're going to stage this when it comes to Tel Aviv, so another good one there. Just having a look through my list because I constructed a list down. Spain as well. Mickey can work the crowd like goodness knows what. He can literally start going running around the stage and that, and he can still perform it really well. Yeah, I think this is definitely one that's going to go down really well with the crowd. Juries may not probably won't appreciate it so much, but the televoters are just going to soak this one up. So yeah, it's literally the party song of 2019. So once again, great performance. And I think my final standout of the night was definitely the Netherlands. It was just absolutely phenomenal. I think, you know, when they say save the best till last, clearly they did. Not trying to be incredibly biased on this because, yes, as we all know, it's my number one, and no, it's probably not going to change either, but Duncan conveys such emotion when he performs, and yes, it's a very personal song to him, and I think that really does help. The staging aspects, the backdrop, everything just pulls together really well, and just I didn't see any vocal flaws in that, and maybe there might have been something at the start that maybe didn't quite work, but yeah, so atmospheric, and this is gonna go down incredibly well, and I think we all know that by now, but I can see a concept there as well going on, and I'm really hoping that they do incredibly well in Tel Aviv, but yeah, big standout of the night to me. So we're flipping to the other side of the spectrum, and for me the biggest concern at the moment is Finland. I am genuinely worried now about Finland's chances of qualification. I was worried about Sebastian's vocals when it came to UMK. It just, something there just didn't click. And I thought that maybe over the last couple of weeks he might have improved, and unfortunately I can't see a lot of improvement there. There might have been a bit of improvement, but something just isn't clicking. And maybe they may qualify based on Dorid's name alone, but I feel their chances of qualifying are actually diminishing now quite a bit. They've got a couple of weeks to improve. But yeah, I'm really worried for them now. So looking at the other countries, Switzerland. Luca did not have the worst of performances. I think a lot of people are making it out worse than it actually was, from what I saw anyway. he was getting out of breath quite a lot. The first part wasn't great, but then he was starting to get a little bit better during the performance. And there was definitely good parts. There was definitely not so great parts, and I think maybe too much bobbing around the stage might have caused him to get out of breath a lot. But then I think tidy up the performance a little bit. Don't be as energetic. Almost do a Nicholas almost, I suppose. Have your backing vocalists there, your backing dancers. I think he still will be all right. But it's got time to improve, so there's definitely something to look towards. So next on my list I had Belgium. I heard a couple of performances, like sort of live vocal performances from Elliot the other week, and at first I was a bit worried, and since then he's improved vocally. Yeah, definitely by the time he got to Amsterdam he's improved vocally a fair bit. There's still bits and pieces where I'm a little bit worried, thinking, oh my god, what's going on? But then I noticed that he kept holding his ear during the performance, and I thought maybe there's a sound issue. Maybe he can't hear himself. Maybe that's why he's singing louder than he ought to, and it seems a little bit pitchy almost. Look, I'm no musical expert, but this is just what I'm seeing as a person. I also think the nerves as well, that's the big part as well. I don't think he's got the nerves under control. But I think with more performances, by the time he gets to the rehearsals, I think he might be alright. I do love the song, and I do really want it to qualify. But I just can't help but notice that little bit of a concern there. So there's that. And with that, I also have Greece. I know, I'm not sure how you pronounce the name. Is it Katerina? Catherine? I'm not sure how you pronounce the name, but I know she was ill during the performance. Well, not necessarily during the performance. During the time she was in Amsterdam. I know she'd been ill for a couple of days, and you can hear it in her performance. She was literally straining during that chorus. As soon as that chorus hits, you could hear it in the voice. Yeah, she's not well. And whilst I admire her for, you know, trying to perform and not let everyone down, especially when it'd been announced weeks ago that she'd be going, and I understand why she performed, but personally speaking, I would have not done it. I think that she needed to rest her voice. Last thing you want to do is damage your voice even more and put your chords at risk. That's the last thing you need. So I would have sat it out, to be honest, but big up to her for doing it. And even with her being ill, it wasn't the worst performance, and you can definitely hear her voice there. She has got a very deep, strong voice, and I think maybe once she's recovered, she might sound a lot better. So I'm being positive, I'm being optimistic, and providing she does any more pre-parties, I'm hoping she'll nail it second time round. So another one I think was having a bit of issues when it comes to something was San Marino. I know that Saint Anna went down incredibly well in the crowd, and Serhat, we know, can work a crowd, but something just didn't click for me, and I'm not sure whether it was mic issues, I know whether it was sound mixing, because I know in general that was not great on the night. But yeah, something just didn't click for me. Or whether it was just the vocals, maybe it was just having a bad night. I don't know, but that was a little bit of a concern for me as well. Not too much of one, but was still there. Other than that, in my list, I've got Denmark. Not a huge concern. I think she did all right, but Lenora, I know the good part was that she got the crowd involved. That was a great thing. The bad thing, however, was that I think that she was trying to get them to sing the majority of her song, and I'm thinking, thank goodness this is a practice, because if you did that in the semis, I would be really concerned. I know she forgot her lyrics a little bit, but again, it's a practice. There's not, it's not a major concern. It was just a little thing I noticed, but I think she's probably be more in the okay category for me, but yeah. And then finally I've got down Austria. It started off really well, and Again, I'm not sure how you pronounce the name. Is it Panda? Is it Panda? Something like that. Regardless though, I think she got a little bit breathy towards the end, and again, I'm no musical expert, but I think she was a little bit sharp, especially towards that bridge, and then it started going a little bit off the rails. Not too much, but just a tad. So yeah, vocally it wasn't probably the most amazing performance, but it was still there, and the way she conveys emotion, because it's a very emotional song. I think the actual deliverance of it was good, but I think the vocals just had a little bit of a hiccup towards the end. But again, I found it very difficult to listen to her because the crowd was kind of talking, and there's me like, seriously, crowd, shut up. I just really get annoyed when that happens. People can be like so ignorant. But say what you will about that, but yeah, that's just my perspective towards that. So with that, other okay performance is Czech Republic, for instance. Again, a bit like when they performed on the semi-final of Vidbir. They performed really well. Same here again, another great performance from them. Albert has so much energy for someone like of his age. I mean, I'm not saying that in a bad way. It's just that most 30-year-olds don't have as much energy as him. He's literally 30, but has the energy of a 15, like, not even a 12-year-old, really. And where does he get this energy from? I kind of need it. Like, I'm 5 years younger than him, and I feel like really old now. Not to mention, he looks like 17 years old, and it's making me feel bad. And where's the good looks coming from? What's the genetics? But yeah, not saying anything bad because my friend absolutely, she loves this song, so, and is a fan of the group, so not saying anything bad on this before I get told off. They had so much, I think they had really a big amount of fun performing this as well, so I'm confident for them when it comes to the semis. Germany as well, the girls have improved in terms of their harmonisation. They don't sound as shouty as they did during the national final performance, so there's definite improvements there. Wasn't a big standout for me, wasn't a concern, so yeah, just somewhere in the middle. Iceland, despite the fact that Clemens did not have the best vocal performance that he's had so far, Matthias and that, bang on. No problem from me whatsoever. And even without all the crazy staging and everything else, they own the stage. And no doubt about that. They literally have such a presence that you cannot take your eyes off them. And that for me is a good thing. Huge standout, and I'm really hoping it does well this year. I did initially have Armenia as a concern, but I've put them in the okay category now. Sabuk, I don't think when she first performed on that, to begin with, I don't think she was quite there. But then as the song picked up, I think she was getting better as it went along. I don't know whether that was down to nerves or whatnot, but something just didn't click to begin with. But she does have I think a big concern is her breath control. I don't think it's quite there. But in saying that, it's a very vocally demanding song. Not just like in the choruses, but in the verses as well. Those verses are difficult to do. So it's not the worst case scenario, but I think with a bit more practice, I suppose you could say. I think she's got time to improve that and polish that up, so that's not too bad. And she did go for those bigger notes, and she more or less hit them, so that's a good sign as well. So I'll give her the credit for that. But I'm just hoping it all goes down well in a couple of weeks' time. And again with Albania as well, Janida can just sell it live so well. Just continues each time to deliver it live. And honestly, the song is much better performed live than it is on track, so that's definitely a good sign. And And yeah, so no concerns from that on me. Lithuania, Yuri had a fairly solid performance as well. That falsetto, like, sort of head voice is really tough to do, and he can nail it so well, and that's a good sign as well. Montenegro, okay, Demol did not, in my opinion, have the best performance they've had, but they can all sing really well. They were having fun, so again, good sign. Anna for Moldova, again, another solid performance. It's not the greatest song, but she sells it. And Ireland, Sarah got the crowd involved. Can, you know, she can work with the crowd really well. So there's definitely good things from that as well. So London is the next destination, which will take place on Sunday, which is kind of annoying because I was hoping it would be on a Saturday because it's easier to get to London then. So I am not going to London Eurovision Party myself, so unfortunately you won't see me on the night there. It's too expensive. Like, if they bring down the price, I'd be like, yeah, I'd go, because I was hoping to go with my sister, but I can't afford it. But however, I will be in London during the weekend, so if you happen to spot me by the Café de Paris, or Café de Paris. I'm not good at French. French was not my language at school. If you find me down by the venue, feel free to say hi. I'll probably be down there during the day. So yeah, unfortunately I won't be around all the night, but I will be hanging around down that end during the day. So if you see me, feel free to say hi, have a chat. Feel free to post your comments. What do you think about the songs? Do you think, who were your standouts? Who are your concerns? Is there something that I missed out? And who are you rooting for? So there's that. Also, polls for the People's Choice Awards, they're still open now for a couple more days. They close on the weekend. So if you haven't done so already, feel free to vote in the polls. A whole bunch of categories. And once the polls have closed, I will combine all the results and I will put together a video based on the winners of each category and probably the top 3 or top 4 and that, and go from there. I'll even do a premiere on it. So there's that to look forward to as well. So yeah, thank you for watching, and I will see you soon.